My name is Mark Rowan, private investigator by trade, professional skeptic by survival. My office isn't a noir film set. It's a converted garage that smells like burnt coffee and hard drives. My work taught me one rule. Everybody lies. I built a life anyway. Her name was Jessica. For 3 years, I decided she was the exception. We turned my place into a home. Her plants lived, my cynicism softened, and that little reading nook upstairs made me believe in quiet endings. I gave her the one thing I never give clients or suspects: trust. Bank accounts, fears about the business, the mess behind my tough guy act. She had keys to all of it. 6 months ago, the texture changed. Phone face down, late nights at the marketing. Firm. New inside jokes I wasn't inside of. I filed the alarms under love and kept moving. On a Tuesday, she bounced into the kitchen in my old NYU shirt. Girls trip, Hawaii, 5 days, Lauren's planning. If you don't know Lauren Pierce, picture a tornado that drinks Prosecco. Her disciples, Becca, who thinks in Instagram captions, and Chloe, the quiet watcher. Jessica listed them and said, "And we're blocking the guys. No calls, no texts, digital detox." I kept my face neutral and my mouth shut. Then I asked logical husband questions. Flight, hotel, airline. Her answers were shrugs. Lauren booked it. When I pressed, she laughed like I was cute and said, "Don't interrogate me, Mark." I kissed her curbside at LAX and watched her disappear into the terminal with 2 suitcases and a smile that felt borrowed. Then I went home, wiped my whiteboard, and wrote a new case name. Operation Safe Harbor. Client. Me. I built it like any. Other job, timeline on the left, associates in the middle, red flags on the right. Within hours, the internet did what the internet does. Becca posted a pre-flight selfie in Lauren's driveway. The background gift wrapped me a lead, a black Escalade with a visible plate, a quick database pull, registered to Adrian Holt, venture. Capitalist, 43, married, 2 kids, reputation, money solves everything. FAA logs showed Holt's Gulfstream G650 departing LA for Honolulu the same afternoon my wife supposedly boarded a discount airline. No passenger manifest on private jets. Cute. By sunset, Becca was pouring out content. Ocean view balcony at the Four Seasons Maui, champagne toasts, a private sunset catamaran. That wasn't girls on a budget. That was somebody else's Amex. The tel arrived in a bathroom mirror selfie. In the corner, barely there, sat a man's hand on a hip, wearing a Patek Philippe I'd seen in Holt's headshots. Not proof, but the outline of the truth was taking shape. The girls' trip was a hosted vacation. Then came Sunday's blackjack video. 15 seconds of giggles at a casino table. Lauren too loud, Becca filming, Chloe watching the world, and my wife leaning in toward a man just off frame, whispering like they had secrets older than their luggage tags. A voice answered, low and familiar. "You're terrible." It was a laugh I knew from a dossier I never wanted to open again. Derek Vaughn, Jessica's ex-fiancé, the one she swore was a wound that never healed. I pulled audio, ran it through tools I keep for uglier jobs. 93% match. Derek in Hawaii, funded by Holt, with my wife. Now I had a triangle and a motive to find. Derek's startup, a buzzword. Blender about blockchain and sustainable energy had been bleeding out 6 months ago. Then Holt's firm injected $12 million and a second chance. Money, plane, hotel, and a familiar hand at Jessica's waist. The angles converged. Anger makes you sloppy. Rage makes you surgical. By Tuesday, I'd turned surgical. First, Holt. Burner phone patterns to Derek's number, an escort service, and, 8 months back, Jessica's line. Company cards used for business travel that looked a lot like affairs. I boxed the evidence, wrote a note, and delivered it to Marissa Holt, Stanford-educated attorney and Adrian's wife. "He's not on business. Thought you should know. She'd do the rest. Second, Derek. Offshore accounts feeding personal luxuries. And small, regular transfers to a familiar recipient, Jessica. I packaged the fraud trail and sent it to Marcus Chin at the LA Times, a reporter who owed me one and hates tech bros who confuse charisma with ethics. Third, I called a stranger, Sophie Green, Derek's current girlfriend. Yoga studio, good. Heart, bad taste in men. She thought Derek was at an Arizona digital detox. I texted her the Hawaii photos and went silent while the truth detonated on her end. When she called back, her voice was steel. "What do you need me to do?" "Meet me at LAX Thursday," I said. "Bring a poster." I cracked Lauren's email. She used password 123, no joke, and confirmed the return flight was Holt's, Jet. I prepped a clean legal hammer, a divorce petition, emergency eviction, and a restraining order drafted Tuesday and ready to serve Thursday. My process server, Tony, looks like trouble and files like a surgeon. We met Sophie near the airport. Thursday morning. She looked like heartbreak, hoodie, red eyes, but she held that poster like a shield, a blown-up still of Jessica and Derek wrapped around each other at the blackjack table, captioned in bold marker, "Welcome home, cheaters." The Gulfstream landed. Late. The terminal hummed with families, suits, and jet-lagged tourists. Then the parade. Lauren came out first, already yelling into her phone. Becca filmed herself, filming herself. Chloe scanned like she could smell weather. And then Jessica, sun-brushed and glowing, beside Derek, his hand on her bag like habit. Sophie stepped forward and lifted the sign. Derek's face went paper white. Jessica froze, then snapped. "Who are you?" "I'm Derek's girlfriend," Sophie said, candy sweet and razor sharp. "Or I was until his yoga retreat turned into Maui." Phones came up everywhere. People love live theater. Tony arrived like a magic trick. "Jessica Rowan?" She stared, still computing. "You've been served." Papers into her hands. Divorce, eviction, stay away from my property. She spun, wild. "Mark, please!" I stepped from a pillar, camera rolling. "Explain it to the internet." There's a flavor of silence that only shows up right before a building falls. The terminal had that silence. Then everything collapsed. By dinner, Becca's live stream had millions of views. Comments ranged from poetic to profane. My favorite, private investigator husband, said, "Watch this." But the airport was just the appetizer. Domino 1, Holt. Marissa filed for divorce. Before lunch, froze accounts and activated a network only high-powered attorneys can activate. By Friday, Holt's board voted him out. Business accounts frozen. Headlines screaming about patterned misconduct, and a custody judge limiting him to supervised visits. A partner at the firm called to thank me and mentioned they'd uncovered a plan for Holt to disappear with $3 million next month. Timing, as they say, is everything. Domino 2. Derek. Marcus's story hit that afternoon. By morning, the SEC announced a formal investigation. His board dumped him, investors sued, stock died. Legal fees wouldn't be covered because fraud isn't an oops. It's a crime. Sophie rallied a cluster of Derek's exclusive girlfriends into the Derek Vaughn Survivors Club. 3 filed police reports, 2 prepped civil suits. The meditation cushion was a prop. The guru was a grifter. Collateral damage. Lauren's dream job rescinded its offer. Poor judgment is bad for brands, it turns out. Her alimony negotiations veered hard toward you get nothing. Becca's parents turned off the trust fund faucet after she live-streamed her best friend's affair. "Welcome to the job market, Zetzer boss babe." Chloe lost clients who didn't want adultery adjacent, PR hanging over their projects. She sent me a long apology about silence and complicity. I archived it. Silence is still a choice. By Saturday night, I sat in my clean, quiet kitchen with a beer, and for the first time in months, The silence felt like peace. No ring stained. Counters from abandoned mugs. No perfume haunt. No pretending. My phone throbbed with Jessica's rotating numbers, apologies that turned to blame when I didn't answer. "You're destroying us over a misunderstanding." 8 months of burner calls and private jets is not a misunderstanding. I screenshotted everything for my lawyer and felt nothing. The next morning, work called me back to myself. A missing teen named Emma up in the mountains. Police said, "Run away." Her parents said no. I drove out with a thermos and a map. We found her in a week, hiding with a boyfriend from a predatory counselor the camp hadn't wanted to see. The cops missed it because they looked for a rebel. I found her because I recognized the shape of a lie. More cases followed. The airport clip turned into accidental marketing, but I kept the work clean. Missing persons, fraud that actually mattered, families who needed closure more than drama. By fall, I was busy in a way that felt right. Jessica managed one last long letter, a 12-page masterclass in self-pity. "I'm sorry you found out, but it's your fault for not being the man I needed." She and Derek were in a cramped Venice apartment. She answered phones at a dental office. He pulled shots at Starbucks between meetings with federal lawyers. I didn't finish the letter. Some endings don't need rereads. Here's what I learned. I was never Jessica's safe harbor. I was her mirror. For 3 years, she saw in me a man who believed she was good, and she liked that reflection. Then she started lying to the mirror. Mirrors don't argue, they reflect. The truth about Jessica isn't just cheater or liar. It's simpler and worse. She treated love as optional and promises as suggestions. She saw marriage as a net, not a partnership. Now she gets to live with that truth every day, next to a man who might trade his latte art for an inmate number. As for me, I wake up early. I make coffee in a kitchen that stays.